Alright, so I'm doing this requested video today. This is going to be some joint welds here. I'm going to be welding all this with a Harbor Freight, a flux core wire welder. The settings are going to be a little bit hotter than what they call for on the machine because it is about 20 degrees outside. So here goes weld 1. Also, yeah, as you can see on the video, there's some mill scale and rust on there. It is flux core wire, so that shouldn't be a problem. There's no pores in the weld or anything. I mean, it's solid now. Even this, it's so cold out here that, I mean, these gloves aren't the thickest, but I mean, it's not even burning me. So I mean, the metal is cooling down really fast. What I'm going to be doing now is a 1/2-inch piece of steel plate. Alright, so I've tacked the piece there together. So I'm gonna start doing the weld on this. This is pretty thick. I mean, 1/2 inches. I mean, it's solid. Alright, so as you can see, I got halfway through. I did bevel it, but I didn't bevel it too much. Actually, what I'm going to do, because it's so cold, I'm going to bevel it a little bit more on the backside. So I'll turn the camera back on when I do that. Alright, so here's the 1/2-inch stock here. It's been beveled. I should have actually beveled it a little bit, or I could have spaced it a little bit better when I first started welding on it. So anyways, the bead inside is pretty even. So what I'm going to do now is finish this up before the metal gets too cold. Alright, I'm going to try to cut this open before night falls upon me here, but here it is. There's no porosity in the bead. It's a little bit hot. So I'm gonna cut this open and see if I can get it on video before it turns dark over here. Alright, so pretty much night fell upon me, so I had to turn on the spotlight so I can show these. But this is the 1/8, and from what looking at it, it looks like 3/16, but let's just say it's a 1/8 inch. So I cut this open. You can see the weld on that side. And you can look at the center in there. That's complete. There's no porosity or anything in there. There's no flaws in there. So I mean, this thinner stuff you can do pretty good. I mean, it will hold. Here's the other piece, the other side. This is where I first started on the weld, and keep in mind this metal and outside is like very cold, so even though it was so cold, it still penetrated. I mean, I did have to give it 2 times front and back. I mean, I could have gotten away with doing it on one pass like I do with a miller most of the time, but that right there in the center, that looks like a flaw, but that's not. That's just from the grinding away. But this thinner stuff up to 3/16, it does just fine. Now, when it comes to the 1/2 inch, if I would have, it's pretty much, you know, my error and in my results that I got here. I mean, I cut it open. I found a little bit of flaws. I'll show you right here. And this is just on one side. So, as you can see from this side, the bead's right there. I mean, there's no flaws. And this is 1/2 inch. I mean, right there, you can see a little bit. So, keep in mind this is 1/2 inch solid, you know, stock. It's pretty thick, and since it's cold, it acts like a heat sink. So I did go pretty slow on this, but if I would have gapped it just a little bit more, or I would have beveled it just a little bit better, I would have gotten better results. So again, the machine's not rated for 1/2 inch, but it can do 1/2 inch. I mean, you can do it on multi-pass, no problem. And this is the Harbor Freight wire that came with the machine. Now, maybe it would have came out a little bit better if I would have used the Lincoln, but you know, this is pretty much, here's the other piece right here, so you can see right there. And I don't know if you'll be able to take notice on this video, but if you go back and look to when I'm doing the welds, I did change my angle a little bit because it was just dragging pretty much on the top. I couldn't get the wire to feed in correctly right in towards the center, so I kind of went slower, but I did change my angle. And when I did that, this was the result. I got much better, you know, penetration. You know, it's pretty nice. I mean, I might get people out there saying, well, you didn't weld it right or this and that, but keep in mind, this is an $89 wire welder from Harbor Freight. So if you expected me to get, you know, professional quality results from this welder, well, that just ain't gonna happen. But I mean, if I would have done this in better conditions, I could have gotten a better, you know, penetration, and I could have actually welded this so good it would have came out real nice. It wouldn't have had no flaws. But then again, the odds are against me today with all this cold, and we just had a big old snowstorm. There's a lot of humidity in the air. The material is so thick, cold, it acts like a heat sink. So, but I mean, this is pretty damn good for a little cheap welder, you know, beginner welder. So I mean, if you know, practice makes perfect. You can get much better results than this. I mean, this is my error. You know, I admit it's error on my part. So again, you know, this machine does a pretty good job. But when it comes to thicker stuff, you'll have to bevel it out, or if you can't bevel it out, you'll have to space it pretty far apart. This hasn't been modified or anything like that. I mean, it was only cut with the chop saw, so you can pretty much see the dimensions there. You know, I'm not just grinding away and just showing you the pretty parts or anything. That is how it came out. So what I'm gonna do now is just show the machine real quick, kind of like the improved features on it. Alright, so I want to show a cool feature on this new and improved welder. This has a knurled drive roll, as you can see here. The grooves on the roll. One side is for 030 and the other one's for 035, even though it's not marked. I don't think it's marked correctly. Yeah, it is. But I will zoom in on the wire as much as I can. You can actually see the little grooves on the wire. That's from the roll grabbing onto it, so there's not going to be slippage like there was with the other welder. So all you gotta do is just slip it in there. And they include this little cup now that goes on top of your drive roll. It's a quick disconnect. It's kind of hard to put this on with the wire installed on there. Alright. So this cup here just goes on top of that. You push it down and you twist it and it locks into place, so it won't be coming out. Here's your idler for the wire, your idler roller. This is also improved design. When you close this, you just close it on down, flip your tensioner over it. It's spring loaded, so it'll just pop up like that and slide into place. Then you got your fine adjustment here. Now they include a sheet here that tells you your settings, your wire speed, feed rate, and your temperature control. And when you buy one of these welders, or if you go to the Harbor Freight website, you can download the manual and it should have this inside. But those are the settings for the different types of wires. The max it says it does is 3/16. It does say polarity is DC electronegative, so this is supposedly it's a DC welder. It might be, gets better results than the older welders. So just move all this crap out of the way and I'll get a picture of the machine itself. Included this little stickers here and make it look a little bit more presentable, I guess. They're all black now, black and yellow with green knobs. They don't no longer look like Miller wannabes. Actually, had some people think they were Miller welders, but it's kind of funny. Also, they changed the lid here. Now they include this knurled bolt here, and when you close your lid, you install this bolt up here. So yeah, when you time this down, you can carry your machine. You don't have to worry about the lid flying off and dropping the machine and destroying it. Kind of like the older ones. Here's the front of the machine. But if you want to see that better picture, you can always go to the website and check that out. But yeah, that's the machine. Forgot to show the little cool green button there. It's not that it's that cool, but it's alright. We also did include a better nozzle. This one's made out of copper. The clamp wire, the ground wire is pretty thick now. So it's actually a little bit thicker than my Miller Welder ground wire. But anyways, that's the machine, and if you have any questions or want to make a video request, I'm doing some more welding, just go ahead and leave it in the comment section. Thanks for watching.